Now at 6, Oregon's special election is here. Our Thomas Schultz will walk you through everything you need to know before you send in your ballot.
Next week, Multnomah County will change its policy on handing out tents and tarps to people living on the street. So coming up, the county chair will weigh in on the change.
And later, a glimmer of hope for 2 members of a Portland-based rock band, Portugal the Man.
We're, extremely grateful, and we're also excited.
How a nonprofit is making a special medicine to treat their daughter's rare genetic disorder. KGW News at Sunrise starts right now. Good morning and happy Tuesday to you. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. Chris McGinnis, Rod Hill, are you out there? Oh, yes, they are. Yes, they are. Rod, you want to start us off this hour with a look at the forecast, please?
Good morning. The forecaster's a little miffed this morning. You see the movement of these showers? They're setting up to our north and back to our west. We've got some shower activity in Astoria and then scattered showers, not many along I-5, but some up towards Seattle, some showers outside of Longview. And what I'm miffed about is this hasn't budged in the last couple of hours. So we're all dry in Portland, we're all dry in Salem, and I don't really have a good guess in terms of how long we're going to stay dry in Portland during the commute hours before a scattered shower starts to pop. But right now, we are just that. We are dry. We're at 51 degrees. Have a rain jacket with you because scattered showers are eventually in today's forecast as we get up to about 65 degrees. Sun popped up at 5:34 this morning, Chris.
Rod, the drivers out of Clark County don't seem to mind that it's not raining right now during their morning commute. It is zipping right along. That's I-5 up near the Expo Center. Traffic rolling along just fine there as it is out at the Banfield. That's 84 out near 82nd Avenue and hopping over to the west side of town. Cornelius Pass Road is down here. There's Highway 26 eastbound. That looks pretty good. So far, we're at a speed limit clip on the roads this morning. A reminder for folks up in the Ridgefield area. I-5 southbound will be down again 2 lanes overnight tonight as WashDOT does some sign installation on the Pioneer Street overpass. Well, I lost the picture, but I can show you, would be able to show you that I-5 is now open again and streaming right along out of that part of the county. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you, Chris. Oregon voters have 14 hours to get their ballots in for today's special election. The most talked about issue for Portland voters is Portland Public Schools' $1.8 billion bond measure.
A Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us live from school district headquarters in Northeast Portland. Good morning, Thomas.
Hey, good morning, guys. And yeah, most of that $1.8 billion will be used to rebuild and modernize 3 high schools. That's Ida B. Wells, Jefferson, and Cleveland. For years, parents and families have been clamoring for these upgrades. Now, there's also going to be money that Portland Public would allocate to things like seismic upgrades and renovations that we see all across the district, not just in those high schools. For months, the school district and these families, parents, and students have advocated for this bond.
It's critical. I mean, we can't do it if it doesn't get passed. And we just put it off. We just kick the can down further down the road. And, every year the risk of the big one increases. And every year our schools continue to deteriorate.
Along with the bond measure, there are races for water and fire districts across the Portland metro area. Many districts are also holding races for school board seats as well. Now, ballots, guys, they've got to be dropped off in a drop box by 8 p.m. or have today's date on an envelope if they are mailed in as well. Now, coming up in the next half hour, we're going to tell you about an interesting Portland Public School board race that's a little bit different than most. There's a high schooler who thinks they're best suited for the job. And guys, this is interesting, not just because a high schooler's running, but because he's actually getting some backing. Both candidates in this race have strong support from organizations all across town. Guys.
Thomas, thank you. Look forward to seeing that. And tonight, right after the ballots are counted, we will have a special election edition of KGW News live on our TV app, KGW Plus. So join us tonight at 9 p.m. for the latest election results from around the Portland metro area, plus local headlines and, of course, your full forecast. That's tonight at 9, streaming only on KGW Plus.
In Salem, Oregon lawmakers passed a bill that prohibits housing discrimination based on immigration status. Supporters of this bill say it ensures that no one in Oregon will face housing insecurity because of where they were born. It also expands acceptable forms of identification for renters. The bill is now on its way to the governor's desk. Starting this October, the cost to visit state parks in Washington with the state's Discover Pass is going up. Governor Ferguson just signed a new bill that raises the cost of the annual pass from $30, which you might say is reasonable, to $45. not as reasonable. State parks do have a new free day on the calendar this year. In fact, they have a few free days on the calendar for the rest of this year. You can find those dates at parks.wa.gov.
Multnomah County Chair Jessica Vega-Peterson is weighing in on the county's plan to stop supplying tents and tarps for those living on the street, except during severe weather. So she says that her goal here is to have enough shelter and housing that tents aren't needed. Though some community organizations have argued that we are not quite there yet. Here's more from her interview with KGW's Blair Best.
So I'm so curious. I've covered this for quite some time now. Why the change in policy now?
Yeah, well, you know, the reality is that there wasn't actually an administrative rule or any kind of policy previously saying when or how tents and tarps should be handed out. It was something, honestly, pre-COVID that the county didn't. If you look at the historical data, the county wasn't handing out tents and tarps in any significant numbers.
You can watch the full interview or any episode of The Story anytime on KGW+.
Clackamas County appointed a new commissioner to take over for former county commissioner who is now facing felony charges. Diana Helms was picked to serve in the role through December of next year. She replaces Melissa Fireside, who was just elected last November, but resigned after she was charged with 8 counts of theft and forgery. 59 candidates applied for the vacant spot, but in the end, the Clackamas County Board of Commissioners chose Helm.
There's a lot of county to represent here, so I want to do my best. I want to make you proud. I want to work with everyone and be on your team and move forward, and we'll see where it goes.
Voters will get to decide who finishes the rest of the 4-year term beyond next December.
Former President Joe Biden made his first public statement after his prostate cancer diagnosis was revealed over the weekend. In a post, the former president thanked people for their well wishes. The former president has been diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer, and according to the president's office, the cancer has spread to the bone. But experts say it's treatable.
Once the cancer has spread to the bones, it's no longer curable, but it's very treatable and very controllable.
Biden's family says that the cancer appears to be hormone sensitive, which allows for effective management. They are reviewing treatment options.
Here's a look at some national headlines this morning with your Morning Rush. A parole hearing next month for Eric and Lyle Menendez has been postponed. So the new dates are set for August 21st and August 22nd. The brothers are currently serving a sentence of life without parole for the 1989 murders of their parents, but just last week they won their bid for resentencing. The Menendez brothers have already spent more than 30 years behind bars. Another inmate who escaped from a Louisiana jail on Friday has been found. Police say 21-year-old Gary Price is one of 10 prisoners who broke through a faulty cell door to break out. 6 inmates still on the run. There's now a $20,000 reward for any information that leads to an arrest. Members of the World Health Organization voted in favor of a treaty to improve pandemic preparedness at the World Health Assembly. The agreement aims to improve global coordination and surveillance of pandemics and also access to vaccines. 124 countries voted in favor. No countries voted against. There were 11 countries that did not vote. That's the way to start a story. Mother Nature flexing her muscles right there on that police car in Oklahoma. Fortunately, the car was not occupied at the time of that lightning strike. Nobody was hurt here. The state, though, we know has been dealing with severe weather for the last few days, including at least 2 confirmed tornadoes. And that's a look at your Morning Rush.
Your time now is 6:08, headed over to Rod Hill. Wasn't that impressive?
I've never seen that before, the actual video of the moment the lightning strike hits a vehicle. So our director, Brian Matthews, will show you this graphic full screen. This is from the National Weather Service, quote from them. The good news is that the outer metal shell of hardtop metal vehicles does provide protection to those inside a vehicle with the windows closed. That's important, with the windows closed. A typical cloud-to-vehicle lightning strike will either strike the antenna of the vehicle or along the roof line. The lightning would then pass through the vehicle's outer metal shell. That's what keeps you safe inside, and then through the tires to the ground. I will tell you, the Weather Service adds the tires can catch fire, and wiring around that or inside the metal cage can catch fire. And of course, should that happen, you'd want to get out in a hurry. But typically, what you may have learned in elementary school is true. The medical encasement of the car itself is where the lightning will conduct itself down to the tires and into the ground and keep you safe. And as Drew mentioned, nobody was inside patrol car at the time. So good news there. All right, here we go with our weather picture. We have cloudiness up and down the west side of Oregon and Washington, kind of a mixed bag of partly cloudy skies out east. And we have the showers from Clackamas County, generally this is north of Tillamook, so Astoria, and then up towards Seattle that are scattered. And this movement of this kind of bowl of showers just hasn't budged. I shared with you moments ago on the show that I don't really have a credible way to tell you when this scattered shower activity is going to start making its way into Portland and perhaps down into Salem. Right now we're dry, so maybe we're obviously getting into the morning commute hours of no rain, and we'll see how far we can go. We're at 49 right now. As you look at current temperatures, just remember as you're getting dressed for the day, a rain jacket because scattered showers will continue to be possible throughout this Tuesday. 48 in West Lynn right now. Good morning to you. 49 down in Salem. Temperatures today, 50s at the coast, 60s up and down I-5, 50s and 60s in central and eastern areas. Outside the Blue Mountains, a dry day for you in central and eastern Oregon. So our forecast, much drier day overall than yesterday. No big periods of steady rain, just the scattered showers that we're waiting on. Tomorrow, all dry. We hit 70. And then early rain Thursday, scattered showers linger Thursday afternoon into Friday. We're still going dry on Saturday. We're still going dry on Sunday. For your holiday weekend, Memorial Day Monday, afternoon showers and maybe a thunderstorm scattered is something we're looking at as a possibility, and that is your update.
All right, thank you, Rod.